phone, if you're watching live, checking us out on YouTube, or listening on your favorite podcast provider, you are most definitely my people. Welcome to another episode of Botched and Share Shots. I'm your host, Chef by Trade and Mark by Choice. I am the Will Gray, and joining me tonight is the host of ShElite Showcase. She is the host of Inside the Mind of Storytime with Katie Kinsey Bebe. In the crowd, she is the co-host of the #1 wrestling and horror podcast on Pornhub. It's Katie Kinsey Bebe. Katie, how are you, dear?
I am exhausted. How are you?
Same. You're the only person in podcasting that I'm convinced works harder than I do. So I get it. 100% get it. Directly below her on your screen is the co-host of this show. He's the co-host of Nerdy News. He's the co-host of the Wrestle Talk Wolfpack and Boyfriend Time. It's everybody's favorite Ginger Ninja, Jax Bo. Jax, how are you?
I'm doing great.
Excellent.
That's all I have. I'm doing great.
So far, so good. We can't really argue with that logic. And as always, perched upon the Iron Throne in the Boss Bitch's corner is the Hobbit of my Beyonce, the Bonnie Demonic Clyde. She is the brains behind the operation. She's the Boss Bitch, Al. Al, how are you?
I'm good. I'm tired and finally over the fucking COVID. So
Yeah, I feel that as well. I was telling everybody before we went live, today is strictly so we're here so we don't get fined. This is our Marshawn Lynch episode. We're going to run before 0 hour. We'll be done before the pay-per-view starts, so you guys don't even have to worry about it because you'll probably listen to this on Monday or Tuesday. So fuck it. Forget I said anything. Ladies, gentlemen.
Katie.
What's up, Katie?
Your banner is wrong.
Yeah.
Oh.
After dark.
That's a good start to the show, ladies and gentlemen. This is not Botch Spots and Chair Shots After Dark, just regular Botch Spots and Chair
It's still
Shots.
daylight.
The sun is
Obviously daylight.
The
Will.
sun. For once, we're on when the sun is out.
Yeah, I get it.
there.
It's okay. It's okay. But
Play as fuck up.
yeah, it happens. Daytime or not, though, guys. Katie, why has you pissed off for greatness this week?
Wrestling fans in general.
Fair enough.
I mean,
What happened at Payback?
nothing. Surprisingly, if you've heard the horror story that happened in Detroit for SummerSlam, Payback was a fucking walk in the park. I had a blast. I didn't have to deal with anybody. I could see the whole time.
Oh, good.
A good environment. And it was downtown, so I only had to drive 20 minutes. But no, just wrestling fans in general, yeah, you guys can make some funny memes and shit, but just shut the fuck up about stuff that isn't our fucking business anymore. You're all, none of you were there. Everyone knows what I'm talking about. None of you were there. Fuck off. Nobody cares anymore. Let it die. Like the Lorax, let it die. Yeah. That's how I feel. I feel like O'Hare with the fucking bob and everything.
Fair enough. I get it. I have this gut feeling that Sam feels on News and Rumors, so I'm going to leave it at that till his name gets brought up again. Jax,
yeah.
Same question for you, sir. Why has you pissed off for greatness, my man?
I am pissed off that Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn are no longer tag team champions, but I kind of like them on Finn and Damian. I didn't pick them, but I kind of like them on them. It shows Judgment Day's full power.
I like the idea of the tag division meaning something again.
That would be nice too.
Yeah. And the whole idea of them building feuds and stuff inside the tag division is definitely cool. So I'm here for that.
I just need them to either separate these belts or make one fucking belt. Please. And thank you.
I mean, Pretty Kyle brought up something on Twitter. He's like, well, what do you get when you mix red and blue? You get purple.
The Judgment Day.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly.
So I'm guessing I have a sneaky suspicion that on Raw on Monday we'll get some sort of new belt situation.
I'd be down.
Will they have scissors on them?
No, that's the wrong company.
No.
Oh.
But
I wouldn't mind scissors on some Judgment Day belts. It'd really fuck with everybody. That's the kind of stuff Triple H needs to do, is just like overtly go over the top with like, because AEW has no problem mentioning WWE on screen. So what WWE needs to do is now take that shit and turn it up to 11. They need to make somebody name Hangman Adam Jones or something crazy, like a jobber, like WCW did with Oklahoma, even though how fucking terrible of a gimmick that was, because it was making exactly. Do something like that. Make a character that is an obvious ripoff jobber of AEW and just go to town with it. Katie, why do you look so confused? You have no idea who Oklahoma is, do you?
No, I don't. Of course, I don't fucking know.
Vince Russo made a character in WCW whose name was Oklahoma, who was a jobber character that mimicked having Bell palsy and was like made to look like Jim Ross.
Now, see,
I didn't say that was a great idea. Something like that without being so controversial.
He apologized for it later.
Mm-hmm.
I still don't think that's really good enough, but
his excuse on the show when I asked him about it, he gave the best response imaginable. He goes, when I originally wrote the character, I wrote it for Vince because I would do it in creative meetings and he always popped, and he told me he wouldn't use the character. So he did when he got the WCW.
See, that's the first mistake.
His talking to Vince.
Yeah, he trusted Vince.
He says he feels like super bad about it now, and like him and Jim Ross have had several conversations about it, and they have buried the head.
I was Jim Ross, I would have beat that man's ass.
Yeah, but Jim Ross is a saint, so he would never.
But that's why I said if I was Jim Ross.
Yeah. So.
Thanks for resubscribing, Scowls. I just got the notification.
But back to the tag team titles. Something that just, it randomly just irritates me. This isn't my piss off for greatness. This is my irritation for greatness. I hate that they like say like the phrase, we've got all the gold. No, you don't, because those tag team belts are silver.
Oh, I thought she was going to say, like, they don't have the Intercontinental.
No. It's because the tag team belts are fucking silver. They're not gold.
They used to be gold pennies. Now they're just nickels.
Shout out to that episode, because we graded those tag belts as the worst design of any title, really. Of the 30 belts we rated, that was the absolute lowest grade we gave.
Yeah, and there were some ugly ass fucking belts. There was one that had tombstones on it.
Every time we see the Burke now, we call it the Tombstone title because of you. And we watch probably more NWA than we need to.
Yeah, if you watch more NWA than most people I know.
My piss off for greatness is I'm tired of, like, Rhea Ripley is amazing, and I love everything about her, and I love this character, and I love that she has a belt. What pisses me off, though, is they never let her defend it. And when they do let her defend it, these matches are really fucking short. You know what I mean? Like, Becky and Trish got this stupid-ass long match.
Which was amazing.
Which was good.
However long it was still good.
But then Rhea got a 7-minute match.
Oh, it felt way longer than that.
Well, it wasn't. Like,
well, listen, it's different when you're there.
Yeah, let me pull up the actual match.
Like, she's amazing. I just want to see her do more things.
It's because, well, for this one, it's because Raquel's, let's be honest, Raquel's kind of garbage. And
She is kind of garbage.
So, like, there was a spot that I even filmed that I didn't realize that it was a botch on Raquel's part. And I was like, see, I'm not putting this in. I can't do that to Rhea.
Yeah.
Not my queen. My mommy.
Yeah, like, Rhea's the fucking most amazing. And I'm tired of just seeing her, like, be a valet with a belt. Like,
I understand, and I also see the point of them making her this dominant force that nobody can beat, hence giving her short matches. You know what I'm saying?
Yes, but, like,
They should be longer. I'm not disagreeing, but I think that's kind of their train of thought.
It was 17:20 including entrances, so I would say maybe 10 minutes of that was actual match time then. So it's still short. Shortest match of the night was Mysterio Theory, though, at not even a 10-minute match.
Miss Ray's matches are always fairly short.
That's because that man can do everything he needs to in 10 minutes.
Facts. But I don't know. I just wish that I could see her do more of the things that she's great at. Like, they want her to be this unstoppable force, which is great, but like she needs to wrestle more to be that unstoppable force. You can't say nobody can beat you if you barely have matches.
They also don't give her women to fight.
That was going to be
Because they
my
won't
rebuttal,
build up
Katie.
anybody to fight her.
It's because Liv's hurt, and that should have been like the big one that Liv got hurt.
Yeah, but there's other women that they could build up.
I again, not disagreeing.
Yeah.
She won the title April 1st, first night of WrestleMania, 4.75 out of 5. Best match, man or women's match I've watched in the last 2-3 years, probably. Since then, she has had 4 successful title defenses. 7 minutes against Selena, 1 minute and 10 seconds with Natalya, 12 minutes with Natalya, and then 17 minutes with Raquel. What's up, B-Dave? Thanks for stopping by. AJ's here.
She defends the title more than Roman.
Facts. Roman absolutely hasn't. He hasn't defended the title since WrestleMania, has he?
No.
Outside of the house show with Ray?
Yeah, no.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's why Rhea is my champion.
Yeah, fuck Roman.
Yeah, where the fuck's Roman Reigns at?
The Tribal Combat match.
On a beach?
So since...
Oh my God.
What?
I've been sitting here talking
Have you been muted?
this whole fucking time.
Dude, I feel bad. I was like, Jack's just got shit to say.
I was like, you said he's only defended outside of WrestleMania, and I went, no, he's defended at SummerSlam. Then you were like, oh, here it is, SummerSlam. I was like, I just fucking said that. I went, oh, fuck, I'm muted.
I was pulling his matches up. Roman has, since the second night of WrestleMania beating Cody, 2, 3, 4. Roman has only had 5 matches since WrestleMania.
Wow.
Period.
Yeah. He's only defended the title twice. Once was a squash match against Ray in Cincinnati, and once was against Jey Uso in a 40-minute banger at SummerSlam.
Yeah.
Banger's good stuff.
You think?
Could have been better.
I think it could have been better, but
I also couldn't fucking see any of it, so I'm bitter.
Also, you didn't get to watch the match, so there's that.
I literally, I could see maybe like that much of the ring, just the top part. I couldn't really even see anybody's head.
After Trish does Becky take the NXT title off Tiffany Stratton. Oh, AJ, we were talking about that today. I said that I think the next step is Becky and Tiffany, right? That's what makes sense with the direction they're going with it.
Yeah, which is dumb.
Why do you think it's dumb?
I just feel like Tiffany's just not on the level enough to have a legitimate like storyline with Becky. And I really don't want to see Becky going down to NXT.
I would love to watch Becky go down.
Hey.
I say.
My thing is like, they're trying to like get all these women now to like get their
Grand Slam.
Thank you. And so like but like, does it really matter? I really don't want them to knock Becky down and have her hold the NXT women's title just so that she can be a Grand Slam. Like, I think she's above that.
Now, I counter argue. Imagine Becky in NXT, allegedly as shit. We don't know what's going to happen with Tiff. The bangers she can put on Roxanne, Cora, like Elektra, Low Vice, like everybody down. Like the women down there are fucking killing it.
They are.
we have to remember this. Charlotte Flair did the same thing.
Charlotte.
Listen, we don't have to talk about that.
Look at the second run Finn had, dude. Finn's second run in NXT was fire. And Finn said it best. He and Scouts will agree here. He said, you need to change the mindset of NXT being a developmental. I would change my mindset on it being a developmental if WWE didn't call it developmental. If they want it to be a third brand, that's how they need to market it. Hola, Jose. ¿Cómo estás? Gracias para Puerto. They haven't recently. You're right. But they haven't came out and declared it a third brand. And when they do and remove it from that developmental side, that'll be different.
And when giving Dominic the North American, giving Becky the women's, it could almost declare it as a third brand.
Yeah.
Jose, thanks for stopping by, bud. He's in Puerto Rico. He says he likes WWE. Tennessee. She's further north, and he's in Florida. So all over the States right now, we're just hanging out, chatting about some wrestling. Team WWE. Perfect. I mean, we're not – I wouldn't necessarily go as far to say I'm Team WWE. But I like WWE.
I'm Team John Cena. That's fine.
Team John Cena?
Fuck yeah.
AJ's in Louisiana. There you go. See, we're all over. We're international. Trust me, Jose. He's coming. We're going to talk about some Phil Brooks. Okay, my pissed off for greatness before I pass it off to Al. There's the banner, so everybody knows. My pissed off for greatness is the Morgan Wallen effect. I don't understand the appeal of taking somebody who's as solid of a worker as Grayson Waller is and making him host a stupid fucking talk show. You're taking one of the best NXT talents. He was so good that you guys called him up to the main roster to not fucking do anything. I know he's been injured. I'm not taking away from that. Injury is serious. You got to be healthy. I'll give him that. Always be 100% before you step into the squared circle. But the other side of that is they could use him in something other than a talk show. They rattled it off last night. Piper's Pit and Flair's Gold and the Barber Shop and everything they've done. You know what I mean? Like, those guys were established stars, and then they got their talk show. Like, to bring him up and immediately put him in this role seems counterproductive. Me and my co-host for WCW made a bet. I told him that if Morgan Wallen headlines a WrestleMania.
Grayson Wallen.
No, Morgan Wallen. I'm going to mispronounce his name until I lose this bet.
Okay.
If he main events a WrestleMania, I will give him 3 years. So WrestleMania 42, okay? 3 years. And if Grayson Waller main events WrestleMania, I will do a shoey live on air from my Chuck Taylors.
How many years?
He has 3 years to do it. But I said if Grayson Waller can win, if he can main event a WrestleMania, I'll take a shoey from my Chucks on air.
You've had those Chucks since college. That's disgusting.
I mean,
Sorry.
it works for Grayson Waller though. Like, he is this arrogant douchebag of a human being. So like, it makes sense. Like, if they're not going to use him in the ring, then just have him be that.
Say douchebag again.
Douchebag.
It better be a pair of Chucks that you own now. That's what Al's saying.
Douchebag. Yeah, I like the way you say douchebag.
Say it again.
See,
Douchebag.
why?
Douchebag.
Douchebag.
He's a douchebag.
Douchebag.
I'm like a sponge. I'm around too many people from fucking Chicago. So like,
From Chicago.
some of their accent. I literally work with people every week. It's just how I am as a person.
Did the cats just wreck something downstairs? Did you hear that?
No.
Oh. It sounded like a bunch of glasses broke. Either that or somebody's breaking into our house in broad daylight, which is completely cool too.
It's kind of just a silly, goofy move.
I don't think there's anything that they could break right now.
Our views would go way up. I'd be like, quick,
Yeah,
share it. We're getting robbed.
Gun. Crazy.
Yeah, quick share. We're getting robbed.
Do you want to go look?
No, not particularly. What if somebody's down there?
What are you trying to do? Just feed them to the wolves?
For sure. So that's my pissed off for greatness is I think Grayson Waller needs to be wrestling and not hosting a talk show.
Yes.
But if he keeps getting super kicked like that every week, then that's fine.
Yeah. Al, I made it 23 minutes. You got to make it 35 now. News and rumors. I did my segment.
The latest update on the new Joshi promotion coming to the United States mentions that their business model includes a huge focus on developing short and long form anime content related to the wrestling. The only potential negative is the plan might result in slightly modified names and characters for the wrestlers who have signed as to avoid trademark conflicts. So, anime and wrestling.
That's kind of fucking cool.
Yeah.
I mean, look what they did with Shinsuke's entrance last night.
Yeah, that
which was fucking awesome.
I loved Shin's. Al and I were talking about it, that has one of our favorite entrance theme songs of all time for both of us.
I mean, it's so fun to sing along to. That's the first time I think I've actually got to see Nakamura live.
Yeah.
So I got to do the little sing along. It was great.
That's cool.
Back-to-back sing-alongs.
AJ wants to know real quick, what do you guys think about both the Usos' new theme songs?
I mean, Jay's using their other one.
He just took Jimmy's vocals out, and it's just it's me Us day one-ish, and he changed a few of the words.
It's
I like it.
Day one-ish.
Yeah, when I heard Jimmy's music, I'm like, who the fuck is that? And I was like, oh, it's Jimmy.
It's me.
Maribel's making her debut.
She kept bugging me. Say hi.
She's like, no. I don't want to.
My mouth was open.
B. Dave, I also wanted Shin to win. I had a prediction that this was the start of this big Memphis push where Shin was going to win and Seth would eventually take the belt back, a la Jerry Lawler. But c'est la vie, that's not the direction they went with it.
I'm so glad that Seth has it. But let's talk about anime and wrestling combo.
Oh, yeah. I think anime and wrestling would be cool.
Yeah.
I mean,
don't they do that already? Isn't that what Tekken is?
Sort of.
God damn it.
I mean,
Tiger King's nothing but Tiger Mask.
Yeah, also very true. I don't know. My big issue is, you guys know me, I'm old school with my wrestling. I don't want the anime to take away from the in-ring work, unless that's how they present it. If the in-ring work is just reflecting the anime, then that's different. But if it's going to be a wrestling show with a little bit of anime, I think that'd be okay.
Go ahead.
Yeah, it's going to be related to the wrestling. So I think basically they're going to have the wrestling show and then they're going to animate it into anime. So, they'll be separate things.
Like Power Rangers.
Yeah, sure. You can watch it like real people wrestling or you can watch it like anime style.
She said, yeah, sure.
I would
like
think
One Piece.
The anime to further storylines.
I mean, we'll see.
But wrestling's live action wrestling. But if you want to stay up to date with little stuff on Undertaker had his comic.
Yeah.
I think that's what they might try to do with it. If they do it that way, that'd be kind of cool. But just call it a comic book.
Yeah.
Doesn't need fancy words.
Undertaker have a comic?
He did.
Yeah, Undertaker's got a comic.
It's cool.
Tells his whole backstory as a child.
That's cool.
Before he, set Kane on fire or whatever the fuck the story says.
all the way up to him killing people.
I think I could get behind the Joshi stuff, the anime and the wrestling stuff.
Yeah.
I think it would be cool if it's done right. I think I could get behind it.
Yeah. The Daily Mail claims to have a source close to Ronda Rousey that says she will be returning to MMA for one last fight in the UFC at the upcoming UFC 300 event.
Now, I saw a report that said Dana White said that was bullshit.
I did too.
And if that's the case, Rhonda fucking sucks anyways. She got her ass beat by Holly Holmes and went and cried about it like a little bitch.
Mm-hmm.
You want your ass beat again? Amanda Nunes is still there, I think. Let her whoop your ass again. Let's go. If she wants to fight one more time, get your ass beat. Let's go.
Agreed.
As long as I don't have to see her in WWE, I really don't give a fuck what she does.
She can just go home and go back on the farm for all I fucking care.
Dana White said that he doesn't believe she has any reason to come back to UFC. He's like, she was a champion here. It like completely rejuvenated our women's division. She created it. She won everything she could here. She went to WWE. She won everything she could in WWE. He's like, she could, and he goes, she's not hurting for money. The woman could do whatever the fuck she wants to ultimately. But he did say in their press scrum, he goes, are you really asking me about a report that the Daily Mail put out? Like, Dana White laughed at the reporter for the report. I think the long and the short of it is Dana White's not an idiot. If Rhonda comes to him and says, I want to fight, he'll let her fight for the money because he knows she'll be a draw.
Now, he's an idiot. Let's be fair.
Okay, he's an idiot, but a businessman. How about that?
Even then, he had that stupid slap show. Will, your defense is not strong here.
Speaking of that slap show, did you know that there's a midget version?
Really?
Now, I don't. A small people version.
A small people version.
How are you going to be the one to get us canceled? With all the shit that I've said and Yellow Shoes said, like, how is it you're going to be the one to get us canceled?
Those pair of shoes said some shit.
To be fair, what I saw on TikTok, that name was in the title of the show.
I mean, that's very well what it could be called.
Wait, you're talking like little people slapping each other?
Yeah. I'm going to find it, Jackson. We're going to watch the shit out of that.
Dude, have you ever watched pillow fighting?
Yes.
I love watching pillow fighting.
The guys who pillow fight,
they beat the shit out of you.
Shit out of each other.
What?
The women who do it is like every 13-year-old's boy's like wildest dreams. They go out there in their lingerie.
The Ocho bullshit are you guys talking about?
Dude, you should surf YouTube stoned at like 4 a.m.
I don't partake in that, so that will never happen.
B-Dave's like, I'll watch women pillow fighting lingerie. I'm here for it.
Stay up for 48 hours until you're like deliriously tired where everything's funny to you. And then search YouTube at 3 a.m.
That's
I'm
probably
okay,
more
thanks.
realistic. She's like, I don't really want to watch that. She's like, I don't have to be tired and delirious to watch women in
Katie's
lingerie.
about to get tagged on some shit on Twitter about pillow fighting.
No, the fuck not. Yeah. Don't tag me.
I'm gonna have to ask her in like 3 days, Katie, why'd you block Jags?
Because man kept tagging me in some shit.
Lord. For what it's worth, BWE says Gunther versus Chad Gable was booked for Raw instead of Payback because Triple H has stated he doesn't want premium live events to be overbooked.
Okay. First of all, that's a Tony Khan bullshit answer. Second of all, I personally got really excited when I was like, oh, I'm gonna go Payback. Gunther and Gable are gonna tear it up. I'm about to see this match live. And they were like, oh, Monday. I was like, you motherfuckers. But like, I get it, especially because maybe Gunther is so close to breaking the record. I keep saying, imagine if WWE did a silly little goofy thing and had Chad Gable take the belt off Gunther 5 days before he breaks the record. I'm like, imagine the world burn because people are pissed off about Phil. I want them to be pissed about everything at this point because fuck it.
Katie woke up to violence.
I just love Chad Gable and he deserves the fucking world.
He's the second coming of Kurt Angle.
Pittsburgh. I love Kurt Angle.
There you go. You watched the documentary yet?
No, because it came out yesterday and I immediately got home and did the podcast, so I didn't have time. Maybe I'll do it today instead of watching All Out because fuck that.
Masterpiece.
Is it? It looks like the same one that I've.
No.
It's. What would I have watched that was a Kurt Angle documentary?
Mhm.
Didn't they do something from like a short thing? Didn't Impact do something when he was in TNA Jax? Am I
Yeah, they
crazy
did
for
a
thinking
short
that?
one.
Yeah.
I mean, this one.
It was the Foxcatcher. It was like a Dark Side of the Ring
Yeah.
thing. That's what I
Oh,
watched. They
yeah.
talked about Kurt Angle. Okay, never mind.
This one doesn't go so. This one dives real deep into his Olympic wrestling and his first like run up until when he did the backflip with Brock kind of thing.
Cool.
I love Kurt Angle.
Hell yeah.
But
Go
Jax.
ahead.
But will be interested to watch it. I want to know what he thinks about the closing scene.
Ooh, I'm intrigued.
Ooh.
Yes, you will be.
I really want to like Chad Gable.
Allison.
Okay, look. The
You
shush.
have nice hair today.
Thank you. The shush is stolen. The shush
Ooh.
is
Shush.
stolen
From what?
Ooh.
from Encino Man.
Okay,
Oh my God.
15 people have seen Encino Man.
That's
I'm
not
one of those
true.
15 people.
16.
That is
Okay.
that movie is spectacular.
I'm not saying it's not. I've seen it. I love that movie. But like nobody remembers that movie like now. Like all
See,
these kids who
Scouts
are
have seen it.
watching, all of these kids who are watching WWE have no idea what the fuck Encino
Yeah,
Man
but
is.
like that's all I see when I hear him say it is that douchebag from Encino Man. Like that's
I
all
haven't seen Encino Man in so long. I didn't realize it was from that. It's like that should also tell you.
Huh.
So you just hate Chad Gable because he does something better than a movie.
I don't know. I just feel like
Yes.
I don't know. I just can't get. I don't know. Something about it just. The reason hate's not the word. The reason I don't particularly care for certain characters, like, it has nothing to do with abilities or anything. It's just like dumb things that I latch on to, and this is just his thing that I don't like. I mean, he's fucking spectacular, and I love to watch him work. But I just can't like him.
He's Kurt Angle, quite literally. It's like
With hair.
new generation with hair.
I don't know. Maybe I just
Okay,
want
Kurt
him
had
to
hair, but,
be. Maybe I just want him to be his own character.
But that's kind of who he is, though.
That is
Like,
what he is.
that is
I'm
who
just
he
saying
is,
he's
yeah.
comedic like Kurt Angle and one hell of an athlete like Kurt Angle. Like that's what
Yeah.
they had Kurt doing with like Stone Cold and the Lord.
Yeah, I mean, don't get me wrong. Like I said, he's amazing, and I love to watch him. It's just I don't like the character.
I love Chad Gable with my heart and soul.
I really want to, but I'm trying.
Jason Jordan, who produced Gable and Ludwig, by the way. Fantastic. American Alpha forever.
I agree with that, Scals, 100%.
Oh, I mean, 100%.
PW Insider says Brian Pillman Jr. reported to the WWE Performance Center, and he'll be starting his career with the company NXT. They also say there's no rush to get Pillman on television, as they want to give him time to get his feet underneath him.
I just
don't care.
No. Listen, I watched the Pillman Dark Side of the Ring. I feel for the kid. He's not bad in the ring. The fucking whatever tag team, him and who the hell is Griff
Varsity
Garrison?
Vaughn.
Yeah, them and Julia Hart before it became my evil spooky queen. He's fine in the ring. I just don't care. You know,
it's another nepotism situation.
He's a nepo baby. I mean, it might end up being. We don't know. I mean, he wasn't being used in AEW, and he was on contract for how long?
Yeah. No, and he works really hard. I think he'll do well. I don't think he is really the WWE style. And that's
why
maybe
they're waiting.
Yeah, because they're basically going to retrain him to wrestle like that. That's why they don't bring in indie guys, because they want everyone to wrestle in their.
What do we call it, Al?
Huh?
There's a Botch Spots and Chair Shots term for it. It's like the inmates running the asylum. It's the WWE identity crisis. They take established stars and they put them through the machine and they pump them out as a caricature of who they were on the indies.
Sometimes.
So I'll be interested to see what they do with him.
Not everybody.
I think NXT and the Performance Center are the right move to make, because he does need to learn the WWE style. If he wants to be a superstar, he needs to work like a superstar. He doesn't need to work like a wrestler anymore. And that's just the way it is. He needs to go learn how to pretend to be a wrestler on television versus actually being one in the ring.
He used to be a sports entertainer.
Yeah, exactly.
Sports entertainer.
He's a sports entertainer now.
Entertainer.
Oh,
What is
Lord.
this accent?
I don't know.
That's the best Midwest I got. I'm sorry.
So,
Yeah.
Entertainers. It's right there.
Entertainer.
There you go, guys.
No.
There you go.
Speech class.
Tell me you're from the deep south without telling me you're from the deep south.
Yeah, fuck it.
Well, let me tell
Me
you,
and Jax are
tell you
country as
what.
gravy and biscuits. Dude.
I
What do
got
you expect?
to go spray the children off with the hose later.
You get out there and
I
pick
gotta-
a switch,
You pick your switch.
and if it's too
Yeah,
fucking
that's
small,
very
I'll
good.
pick my own.
Yeah. Now, wait a
Entertainers. There's Cam shouting in. He's from the he's from the Midwest.
Well,
He's from Indy.
Cam,
He'll get it.
Anywho's, so this is something I actually meant to be my piss off or greatness, but we're just gonna talk about it now. I think it's really dumb that they're doing this huge ass super show in India that they're not going to televise.
Yeah.
What?
what?
Especially when it's Cena's first time in India and he's teaming with Seth. And that alone should be televised. When I found that out a few weeks ago. Because I was trying to find stuff about it when they first announced it. I was like, oh, hell yeah, Cena. Like, I'll watch a show at noon. Fuck it, whatever. And I was like, it's not anywhere. Why would they not do that?
I don't understand the logic in not televising this unless they're trying to save money and not. But they'll still film it because they film fucking everything. Because they even film the house shows.
I was gonna say it's probably gonna be like that. Like they'll probably just like release it later, but there's no reason to release it later. Just give it to
Why
us
not do
now.
it like they did the Shield's final run, where they just televised the house show for one night?
Yeah, I don't fucking know. Like it's so dumb. Like
It's not its own house show. It's like its own fucking.
it's a
like
huge ass super show.
it's like the first Saudi shows.
Oh, it won't be included in kayfabe. This sounds fishy to me. This sounds like the NWA going to Puerto Rico and Carlos Colon beating Flair, and then them 24 hours later saying the title wasn't defended properly or something, and making some non-kayfabe, non-canon bullshit story happen just to get over in the second largest wrestling market in the planet. Because we saw the NWA do it, we saw WCW do it, we've seen WWE do it in the past. Why would they not do it here? They did it in Korea, they did it in Puerto Rico, they did it in...
There's no like titles that would be even changing hands though or anything like that at this show. Like Seth isn't defending his title. Roman sure as fuck isn't defending his
I guess
title.
that's true.
Like Seth and Cena are teaming.
I understand Scows saying they never televised the WrestleMania Super shows,
But they should.
but this
my
big
point.
of a show in India where they're going to sell... Never mind, because they won't sell these tickets. It'll be a bot show, so it won't be the biggest paid attendance in history.
Either way, like India is a huge fucking wrestling market. India is number one in the world for people who watch wrestling.
Per capita, yeah.
They should, I don't know, like I want them to televise this fucking show. Like I don't care if it's a small ass arena. I don't care if it's in somebody's like dirt hut. Like I think it'll be fucking cool.
You know, Kenny Omega used to have a promotion in Japan that was a Joshi wrestling promotion where you could pay women to come wrestle in your house.
I feel like I've heard you say this before, but you've never mentioned Kenny Omega's name with that, and now I'm confused.
Oh yeah.
I'll find it. I will find
I don't need to know. I'm fine.
I say there's reasons why I don't like Kenny Omega. There are reasons why I don't like Kenny Omega. It has absolutely nothing to do with his wrestling.
I mean, a lot of people don't like Kenny Omega for him.
Is because he lives in North Carolina?
No.
He doesn't live in North Carolina.
It's
It's the
because
Michael
of
Jordan thing.
it is because Kenny Omega has done some questionable things. Anywho,
I'm still sending you that shirt.
Will, I sent you some.
PW Torch notes that Punk wasn't the only wrestler to have issues with travel and AEW's accommodations in London. Multiple wrestlers were not picked up at the airport, which is something that WWE and New Japan handle well when it comes to international tours. Like, how do you, not schedule your talent to be picked up at the fucking airport?
I don't know.
I'm
really surprised.
We've had independent promoters that have texted me and Al and been like, hey, I need you to stop and pick this person up on your way in. You know what I mean? If the indies can line up trans, why can't AEW?
Yeah. It was funny when it happened to Punk because it's just like,
Tell me you're getting fired without telling me you're getting fired.
Dude.
Yeah, but to hear that it happened to a bunch of talent, wow.
Well, that is, I just think it's funny just in general because people were like, oh my god, Punk didn't get transportation. No, it wasn't just Phil.
Right.
It was everybody. So your argument is now invalid, fuckers. Like, it's so annoying.
They left their messages unread. They also indicated that Xavier Woods is dealing with another legitimate injury following the injury angle on Raw where Drew McIntyre threw a chair at him. I don't know if it was the chair spot, but I believe that Woods was hurt, so hopefully he'll be back soon. But something happened and he has suffered some sort of injury.
He has a cervical sprain.
Yeah.
Okay.
He did a video about it yesterday, I think, or the day before. He said that he's hurt, but he's okay. He'll be back.
Okay.
It wasn't like a major
thing.
He's still allowed to travel and shit. He just can't wrestle.
I just need the New Day to stay on my fucking TV
as much as possible.
Just stay on my TV.
I love them so hard. Fightful was told that WWE secretly signed Authors of Pain in 2002 before Vince McMahon returned to power. PW Insider added that there have been discussions about AOP appearing on NXT next month.
I'm down.
2022.
Yeah.
2002.
22, whatever.
They've been on contract since they were 9 years old.
They've been signed.
I don't know.
Allison,
who
I'm just giving you shit.
are.
Authors of Pain. They did the NXT War Games thing. They used to be managed by J.J. Dillon. Wasn't it J.J. Dillon?
Paul
Ellering, yeah. Paul Ellering used to come out with them.
Without the puppet.
Yeah.
They were great. They were this dominant ass fucking tag team in NXT. Had hella great matches with TM61, UE, DIY. Yeah, FTR, I think.
They did. Weren't they involved with that the Messiah of Monday Nights or whatever, the Monday Night Messiah? Yeah. Weren't they part of his group back then?
Yeah. For one at that Rumble, they came out with Seth.
Yeah.
But
they
didn't really do anything with it.
I'm here for the AOP. They're good. They apparently got signed at the same time EY did, and then EY walked again.
Well,
if they all got signed at the end of 2022.
Yeah.
Yeah.
NWA Power, because it has 3 R's, will have an upgrade look next Tuesday. Insider reports that Billy Corgan has invested in major production enhancements that will improve entrances and more.
You can paint a pretty face on a hog, and it's still a hog. Billy
That's a
Corgan.
good old-fashioned Southern saying right there, Katie.
But it's a pretty hog, though.
It is still a pretty hog.
Hey,
It'd be a pretty hog.
Still make some tasty bacon.
Yeah, it will.
Damn right it
I
would.
fucking love bacon.
Yes.
But
Bacon
not like
is
this is you still had this awful piece of fucking garbage dinosaur motherfucker as your champ. I know he's not anymore. As your champion for too fucking long. You don't utilize your women's division in any capacity. Yes, I know Camille was also dethroned. I know things. You're just not doing anything with your show. Like, you're not putting it out there enough for people to watch or care. And because people know Billy Corgan's an asshole. I'm saying it, not you guys.
Maybe,
go ahead, Jackson.
maybe 75 was a reboot. He now understands that he's got to get his product out there more. He's got to invest more money into it. I saw it because that was, I'll be honest, that was the first NWA pay-per-view I watched in a long, long time. And I looked at Will after night 2. I was like, we just watched NWA reset itself.
Mm-hmm.
He's like, holy shit, we did.
Every title changed except for the TV title.
Yeah, so I think maybe 75 was a wake-up call.
Yeah, they put all the belts on much younger talent, except for EC3, who's not young, but he's still a different direction.
See, that's another thing. Why is that your champ? EC3 sucks too. He's not as bad as the shitty dinosaur.
At least he can run the ropes.
Yeah.
That was fucking disgraceful.
I very seldom, I said it the night we watched that match. I put a tweet out that said, I've never seen a world champion look that terrible running the ropes.
I have never seen...
It was hard to watch.
Uh-huh.
Listen, I've seen, some big wrestlers. They tore it down. They could run those ropes easily. What the fuck is the Funkasaurus's excuse?
Kane and Big Show and Vader. And then you look at him and you're like, you don't have an excuse.
Paul White right now could probably run the ropes better.
100%.
That man has been through hell.
Sam Stackhouse out here doing backflips and shit.
Uh-huh. Amen.
And your NWA champ can't fucking run ropes. That's
he's just feigning during the matches and just laying there not doing anything. I've seen the clips. Fucking disgraceful.
Yeah.
I said a few weeks ago that when I found out about the production upgrades that it was because they know if they want to get a viable TV deal, they have to put a product out there that shows they can put out the production quality of a viable TV deal. Because they're in a hunt right now because MLW just got one. Axis owns Impact, so that's not necessarily the same thing. WWE's contracts are up and TV deals are up next year. AEW's just re-signed. So there's some shuffling going on in the digital media world of pro wrestling. So Billy Corgan, I think, knew that with this reset because he upgraded all of his productions because he wants to be a viable option for wrestling programming down the road. So did I do a good job? Was that pretty PC, Al?
Sure. So
I just want to keep working with them.
This week's Ryback tinfoil hat moment. During his time in it's because they're funny. During his time, just wait. During his time in WWE, Ryback heard that Vince McMahon had arenas bugged, so he would know what the fuck is going on with the talent. The big guy would purposely talk shit about management into mics he knew were by the ring. It's not clear if this has anything to do with those missed calls from Sanford.
See, now aliens are real. Let's just let that out there for a second. Government confirmed it. Aliens are real.
Yeah.
Ryback is on some shit. Because, first of all, ain't nobody have the time or the energy to be bugging those arenas while they're trying to set all this shit up. That's the first indicator. Second of all, nobody gives a fuck about Ryback and clearly didn't back then. Nobody's calling you. You're not getting missed phone calls from it, that you're in your shower and you miss it and calls you 18 times, like, and they're not bugging arenas, sir.
Listen,
I mean, here's the thing. This is you're on live TV. There's gonna be fucking mics everywhere, you dum-dum. Like, you're not being bugged. The arena's mic'd because it's a live fucking show.
Yeah, like, especially if you're doing it by the ring, like, that's where the mics usually are.
Right. There's a mic. There is a boom mic under that ring so that you can hear the hits on the map, on the TV. Science. Ryback. Yes, Kim, you did hear tinfoil hat. Ryback has a tinfoil bodysuit, apparently.
He lives, his whole apartment is just tinfoiled.
Yeah.
Just nothing but tinfoil.
Everywhere.
Ryback.
So, funny story about that. I used to work for a cellular company. Due to policies and non-disclosure agreements, I can't say which one. But I used to work for a cellular phone company. And when I first started, I was in customer service, like on the phones, like in a call center. It was fucking terrible. I had a lady call because she was her phone wasn't getting good signal. This woman was so worried that her phone was like going to give her radiation that she kept it in an iron pot in her stove, but was upset because she couldn't hear it ring. And her calls would go straight to voicemail because it wasn't getting a signal.
But I just, I have no words.
Yeah, I had another customer call in and say that they kept their phone wrapped in tinfoil so that their phone, they couldn't be heard through their phone, so the government couldn't listen to them to their phone.
I used to put tape over my webcams.
Here's the thing. If the government wants to listen to me, they're gonna get real bored.
I'm already on the list, so it doesn't matter. They can put.
I just hope my FBI agent enjoys everything I do.
Right.
Jess is like, I got stories.
Like, me and my FBI agent were cool. Like, we hang out. He just has to deal with me all the time.
No, I'm probably still on lists, but I used to be as well. Ever can watch me all they want. They're probably trying to get beard care tips. You do have the most luxurious beard on the fucking game.
That's my
big
Cam.
facts.
That's me bugging your beard care tips.
Jax
That little blinking
just wants
light
you-
in your shower. Don't worry about that, buddy. All right.
The little green light.
Yeah,
That's why you got to check your Airbnbs, right?
Yeah.
No, that's a real thing.
No, that's 100% a thing.
Yeah. According to WRKD Wrestling, WWE has discussed the possibility of booking John Cena versus Cody Rhodes at some point during Cena's return to the promotion over the next 2 months. If they do that in fucking India, I'm going to be pissed.
They're not going to. I already told you. Cena and Seth.
Which I'm also pissed about.
What, that they're tagging together?
No, that I'm going to not get to see it.
Oh, well, I mean,
I hope somebody live streams that shit on TikTok.
I'm sure they will.
Insider also mentions this. The announced attendance at All In London was 100% legitimate paid attendance to the ticket. And none of it was bought. I don't believe that.
For what?
All In.
All in it, bro.
Wrestling Observer says AEW had a major entrance plan for Jim Ross at All In, but after the backstage altercation between Punk and Perry, JR was told to just go out to ringside in a low-key manner.
Listen. The only person who needed a big entrance for All In was Nigel McGuinness, and he got that, so that's all that matters.
I have 2 things, and then we're gonna talk about Punk.
Okay.
Briefly.
Okay.
We kind of mentioned it before. Jey Uso has returned and is going to be on Raw by himself. I really want to, since Cody announced him, I really want to see some sort of bromance between Cody and Jey Uso. This is the first little breadcrumbs of the storyline to get Cody back to Roman's belts.
Mm-hmm.
Him partnering with Jay, like I see it.
I don't even see it as like a partnership. And I said it last night. I saw it more as like, again, brand splits aren't real and everything, but like this was definitely like them possibly being like, okay, well, I used all my power to bring Jay here so that I could go to SmackDown and I can finish the story, like kind of shit. Like if that's the case and it's just a full on swap, cool. If it's Jay and Cody want to hang out for a little bit, I'm cool with that too.
Yeah.
Al said the same thing. Shadow, that Jay going to Raw could be the way they are. Shadow. Jay going to Raw is the way that they could get Cody back to Roman.
Yeah, I literally just said that.
I corrupted her too. I don't know what I did, but
who knows? This is so I want everybody to say what they thought about Payback as a whole. Katie's score is going to be a little higher because she was there, but I thought Payback was mid as fuck. It was like, I don't like these little bullshit unnecessary pay-per-views. I think it's dumb. Like it was a slightly better episode of Raw. In my opinion, there were some really great moments, but like all in all, like to me, it wasn't spectacular enough for a premium live event.
Then you should definitely hate tonight.
Oh, everyone's going to hate tonight in this thrown together card that is All Out.
I'm really glad there's going to be a group of us in the StreamYard watching it together so we can be like the old Muppets, like in the theater booth, like bitching about it the whole time.
I mean, granted, I did have to watch Payback on my phone on our way home today because we were out of town for a child's birthday. But I don't know. I just wasn't like, there was nothing on that card that was really exciting. The only matches I cared about were Shinsuke and Seth, which was a fucking banger, and Judgment Day and KO and Sammy, which also was a banger. I just thought it was okay. It wasn't the worst pay-per-view I've seen, but it definitely wasn't the best. That's why I said mid.
Em says, I need a hot take that's going to piss off the IWC. I said, if you're not a wrestler, stop saying you have heat. Thank you, Sammy, for the cheers. We love you.
Thank you,
Payback
Sammy.
was
Hello, Sammy.
8.5 out of 10 with 3 top match contenders on the year. What did you think, Katie, being in the arena for the pay-per-view?
I will say it with a straight face and said it last night. Payback was better than SummerSlam.
Oh.
I will say that with my whole chest.
And you were at both.
And I was at both. Like, I have personal experience. Bullshit aside that I had to deal with at Detroit. Because I just, like, overall, like, I appreciated the build and the people who were on Payback's card. I got really great matches. Just everything. Like, SummerSlam really tried its best, but SummerSlam in Detroit was nothing compared to SummerSlam in Vegas. And Payback, again, personal opinion, was better than SummerSlam.
Cam says he's tired of the Judgment Day stuff.
Well, boy, oh boy, does that suck for you, because they are taking over.
I feel like
They're the new bloodline.
Judgment Day, they're copying a lot of the Bloodline story, which please don't do that. Like, please don't.
I mean, that was a given because of, Funko head looking ass. Like, he can go, and we don't need him. But, like, what the Judgment Day is doing is fine.
It is, and it's great. And they have Rhea, and, like, Rhea is fucking the best thing
She's
in wrestling.
She just needs to wrestle more.
She just needs to wrestle more. Like, I just want her to wrestle more.
Let her wrestle the men, and she can wrestle every night.
Yes.
Fucking truth, dude. If Sawyer Wreck can go out there and wrestle in death matches and make it look good, and I'm not, this is both a compliment towards Sawyer Wreck and towards Rhea Ripley. If Sawyer can go out there at her level and experience and hang with grown men in death matches, there's no way you're telling me Rhea Ripley couldn't put on a convincing traditional wrestling match.
Rhea versus Solo is all I want to see.
Yes.
I don't ask for a lot.
I would also love to see Rhea versus Seth.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
Rhea versus Sammy. Rhea versus KO.
Rhea
versus Cody.
Rhea versus Roman. Like, all of it.
The real champ versus the person who thinks he's been champ for 3 years.
I'm not digging the bangs, but
listen, let her emo flag fly.
Listen, I don't need her to have the same haircut as Dom. I don't like it.
Dom's a little bitch.
Dom is a little bitch.
I like this. I like her slicked back hair. Like, I like it.
I mean, bitch, so did I.
This hair is not it.
I'll take it regardless.
It's not it.
Anything for Rhea Ripley.
Anything. So, Jax, how did you feel about Payback?
I gave it a 7.
7.
See, that to me, a 7 is still mid.
I didn't say it wasn't mid. Anything above an 8's not mid. It was just a 7. I mean, I was shocked that Judgment Day won. I didn't see that one coming.
I didn't either.
But now I'm kind of like, all right, this could be kind of cool to see where they go with it. I'm curious of what they're going to have to say to JD McDonough Monday night after his involvement.
That your head's too big for your body and you should stop trying to be the Sammy.
You actually look like a Funko Pop come to life. George Lopez, flashback looking head ass.
All right.
Damn, Katie did choose violence today.
I have been saying that for fucking weeks. I've been like months.
I feel like Pete Dunne also looks like a Funko Pop.
Facts.
See, his head.
Pete Dunne when he was younger.
Yes.
When he wasn't as skinny, his head was perfect for his body. Losing all that weight and toning out, his head's too big for his body.
Yes.
I still don't think but again, his head's not as big as JD's. JD's massive. It's like a box. It's like a Minecraft character.
You know who Pete Dunne reminds me of? Have you seen Ace Ventura: When Nature Calls? Like the second one?
Yes.
A long time ago.
Okay. I don't know why, but like every time I see Pete Dunne, he reminds me of like that little guy that
who jumps out of the papoose thing and
beats him up. They keep in the backpack.
Damn it.
Guano, yeah.
Yeah.
Guano.
Yeah. He reminds me of the little kid, the scrappy guy that they keep in the backpack. I don't know why.
That's a perfect analogy.
Yeah. All right. Let's talk about. Will, how did you grade Payback?
I give Payback the exact same grade I did All In. I gave it a 3.4, which is like a 6.8 out of 10 for math guys.
Yeah.
Like, where does this math?
His is out of 5.
Oh, all right, Meltzer.
I don't do stars though. I do bottle caps because I'm original.
Yeah.
and I have journalist integrity still. I haven't been sold out yet.
Not yet.
Not yet.
Okay.
NWA.
She's like, I'm not exactly sure about that, Will.
NWA's knocking, Will.
So here's what I have to say about the Punk situation.
So,
for Tony Khan to say that he was afraid for his safety, I think is a little much. I
want to go last. I'm just gonna say that.
Do I think that Punk is kind of a prima donna jerk? Probably. But if everyone got fired for not getting along with their coworkers, who would have a job?
I've been fired from multiple restaurants for not getting along with my coworkers, and I was their chef. The point is, it doesn't matter how high up the food chain you go, everybody is expendable.
Truth. I don't know. I feel like some of the statements being made are unnecessary. Like, just let him go. You don't have to, like, ruin his reputation by saying you were afraid of him. Like, come on, man. Don't do that. Just let him, like, ride off into the sunset. Go do his next thing. Don't, like, be all, I don't know, Tony Khan about it. I don't know. That's all I got.
I like that that's the adjective now.
Well, I mean, I was afraid for my safety. Come on, man. Like, let's be realistic. He would have never have done anything to you. Probably.
Again, I'm going last.
Jax, I'm going to let you go next. Then I'm going to go. Then Katie will go.
I'm only wearing this shirt because it says it's clobbering time on it, and it matched my shoes this morning. But I'm okay that he's gone. I didn't really care if he was there. But I've kind of somewhat in me feels like this was the dumbest time to do it, but at the same time showed that Tony Khan has some balls, because you pull it in Chicago the day before your pay-per-view. That takes balls.
Facts.
Yeah.
But at the same time, you're dumb for pulling it in Chicago the day before your pay-per-view.
Those fans are gonna burn down that arena.
I'm like excited to watch it because of the fans.
You guys are for me now.
Jax, you good?
Yeah, I'm good.
Okay. My CM Punk take has always been the same for a long time. I think CM Punk, the character, is a fantastic in-ring worker. He tells great stories. He blends reality and wrestling. I love what he does. Phil Brooks, the person, has showed us time and time again, whether he's in Ring of Honor or the WWE or UFC or AEW or that third-tier Bellator ripoff that he was commentating for. Everywhere he goes, he turns out to be toxic. And as a toxic motherfucker, game respects game. But there's a reason why I'm my own boss now.
Yeah.
That's all I've got to say about the CM Punk stuff. I don't know. I'm pretty sure she's the boss, but that's just me. It says it in her name, Will.
It does.
No, other way, Allison. Other way.
Start at the other side.
There you go.
The boss bitch.
It's reverse for me.
I get it. I happens to be every time I try and do something. I get it.
I think belt or pictures. That way I know which side to go to. I think that's it. Katie, you're up.
Yeah.
Okay. So I didn't get to see anything that happened on Collision yesterday because, again, I was elsewhere enjoying my time. I remember going on Twitter and seeing the statement that Philip Brooks, they used that man's government name. He got fired. I was like, no shit. I showed my friend who works for WWE. He took my phone and showed it to other people who work for WWE. He's like, look at this shit. And I was like, can I have my phone back? But so I heard about all of the shit about Tony Khan saying he quote unquote feared for his life or his safety, whatever he said. I see both sides of it. Yes, if you look at it from an outsider perspective, no, like you don't need to, like, it was handled. People were breaking it up. He may have quote unquote lunged at you, but he wasn't going to do anything. Mm-hmm. As much toxicity as Phil has, I guarantee he wouldn't straight up beat the shit out of his boss. No. He didn't do it to Vince, and if he didn't do it to Vince, then come on.
Can you imagine how pissed TK must have made him though if he was going to beat his ass after the shit Vince put him through?
Yeah. Well, that's again, and there was like it wasn't just one event either. It was multiple little events that happened, starting from All Out Brawl Out last year. Like now when we had the Brawl In, like there was many instances. But I can also see why TK would say that, because a multitude of reasons. One, he has never in his life been a professional wrestler. Doesn't like he may run the company, but like he doesn't know the like ins and outs of everything. That man is maybe a $120 soaking wet, if that. He's a frail man. So like I could see why he would be fearful. But overall, just everything that has happened with Phil. This is what I was alluding to earlier. My pissed off for greatness. I'm just over all of the backstage drama bullshit that we've had to hear about for fucking months.
Mm-hmm.
In AEW specifically, we've heard it in other places too, but specifically AEW with Phil and the Elite, and now Jungle Boy Jack Perry, and monitors getting knocked over, and people lunging at TK, and I kept seeing reports, again, I don't know how fucking true any of this is. I keep saying allegedly because none of us were fucking there, and no one's going to give an accurate report about anything because people pick sides. Somebody wanted to bring a hatchet or something.
There's a hatchet?
Backstage. I didn't fully read it. I kept seeing the article, and I just laughed and kept scrolling.
Well,
the memes of the part.
I read the article. The attorney for AEW got a text at the show in England that somebody wanted to take a hatchet to the ring, and he was just like, no, absolutely not, period.
Probably Sting in that Jack the Ripper thing.
Honestly,
probably not a bad guy. But yeah, he said he got a text, and they were like, we need you to call us now, we can't find you. And he explained that he wasn't even in England. And then he was like, yeah, they explained to me they wanted to take a hatchet, and my first question is, why? And they explained they were going to use it in a spot in a match. And he was like, absolutely not.
It was 100% Sting. You know, Godzilla. You say no more. Say less.
Or it was Mox.
That's true. That was a Anarchy in the Arena wasn't Satan Stampede. Different things. But again, I digress. If Phil was the common denominator is now gone. What people keep saying, what will be Collision now that Punk is gone? It was Punk's show. Yeah, TK gave him his own show, and he still left. So clearly he wasn't clicking with AEW. After his first run and breaking his fucking ankle, clearly something switched after that, and all hell started breaking loose. So if he got his own show after being suspended the first time, then it's just it is what it is. Other people can build up that show. Brian, Mox, House of Black, Miro, Hobbs, Ricky specifically. Like, Collision will be fine. It's not going to turn into Rampage 2.0. I promise you. And if I'm wrong, then I'm wrong. And I just know business better than TK. So,
I mean, if your entire promotion caves because one person got fucking fired, then you probably shouldn't have a promotion anyway. Like, I don't necessarily think that Punk should have been the only one punished in all of these situations, because that seems to be the case. You know, there were other people involved.
In the first one, all parties got suspended and or fired. Ace Steel was fired.
Right.
Because he bit something.
Abe still bit a motherfucker though.
I still just don't know why you're in a fight, whatever that fight may have been. Again, that's something we'll also never know what truly happened.
Facts.
Why is your first instinct to bite somebody in their forearm? You rabies motherfucker.
They can't punch you if they got rabies.
Kenny Omega has rabies now.
I don't know. I just feel like everybody likes to, I mean, and again, we'll never know all of the real situations, but from all of the accounts, like, Jungle Boy started this altercation, didn't he?
No.
Wasn't that the thing?
I have not seen a single report that said Jack
I thought
started.
originally the first report was that he came up to Punk.
Even if he did, he didn't swing.
The order of operations is fishy for this, because people are saying Punk approached Perry. People say Perry approached Punk. the
Crunch.
whole crunch.
Captain Crunch.
Captain Crunch.
Exactly.
This is
Crunch.
real glass, bitch. During the street fight. That is apparently what started it because Punk told Perry he wasn't allowed to use real glass in a previous spot.
Yeah.
And then apparently it all escalated from there backstage. Yeah. This is real glass, bitch. And ultimately what happened was he went back, and that's where the altercation happened because Perry's match was the last match of the pre-show, and CM Punk and Joe opened. So they had to cross paths on their way out. Apparently, Perry has came forward and said that all he was doing was gaining heat because the story had leaked that Punk told him not to use real glass. So he was like, I was doing heel shit. And Punk got all butthurt about it. But again, it's speculation because nobody was really there. The people who were, blah, blah, blah.
I have a few things. One, about them having footage. If we can get CCTV footage of Ricky Starks at Royal Rumble, why the fuck can't we get this? So that's number one. Number two, TK is a menace to society for a multitude of reasons. This reasoning being, Punk has beef issues with.
I was just talking shit because Cam needed it. I'm sorry.
No. Like,
okay.
I was just saying a multitude of words, like whatever people want to say. He has issues with Perry, the entire elite. Will, what was the order of the end of All In's 0 hour and the beginning of All In?
It went the CM Punch or the Jack Perry match into Samoa Joe CM Punk back to back.
And
then who came after Punk?
Then
the Elite.
It was the Elite, wasn't it?
Yeah.
So he was sandwiched in between everybody.
It was Kenny and Hangman's match, and then it was the Bucks match.
Yeah.
They fucking set his ass up.
I'm not saying TK set him up for failure, but
I'm not saying TK didn't set him up for failure.
And I'm not saying if Punk had issues with all these people, he could have just sat in a corner by himself, had Samoa Joe protect him instead of just dealing
like a
with
little baby, like Samoa Joe hold him like a little baby, like rocky,
little baby,
like a little baby.
I'm just a baby.
I'm just a baby.
I'm just a baby.
I mean, these are wrestlers. How they resolve things is to fucking fight.
Like you can fight, but just fight in the ring so you don't get fired.
You know what Bill Watts would have done? Bill Watts would have booked CJ Perry.
Lana.
He would have booked Lana against Punk. No, Bill Watts would have booked Jungle Boy Jack Perry versus CM Punk, and he would have made them fight for real. He would have made money off of it if he wasn't, if he was a little bit more forward with it. TK could have made bukus of money if he had figured out a way. If he had figured out a way to rope CM Punk and the Elite into a series of stories that made sense. And instead, he chose to be petty inside with his boys. Mm-hmm. Cam says he'd wrestle CJ Perry all day.
Hold on, one real quick. Cam said Perry should have been fired, but TK doesn't have the balls. Perry has been in since I can remember one incident in AEW, which was All In London. This is Punk's second incident in a span of a year.
Less than a year.
Less than a year.
Yeah.
I think the suspension and maybe a fine for Jack Perry is feasible enough for him to learn his lesson.
Especially if the reports are true and he didn't swing first at all.
If he didn't swing.
Where did I say it?
If he was the victim in all of this, again, this is all purely speculation because none of us were there and nobody knows anything. If that's the case, then just get rid of him for a few months.
He is a part of the problem. In this incident, Cam, he is a part of the problem. I just don't think that Perry's punishment should have been the same as CM Punk's because this is now two incidents with two top talents that have led to people being fired, and they all run back to Punk.
I can't remember where I said it, if I said it on Botch Bots last weekend or if it was on Smacking It Raw or something. I said that I applauded CM Punk because I finally realized how much of a fucking carny he was, because he's historically done this now a few times and twice in AEW that we can confirm, where he's done something to get himself suspended during the lowest point of the year for pro wrestling. We're about to hit the low. Pro wrestling is going to deal with NFL and football and basketball. Pro wrestling is going to knock down the pecking order a little bit as far as ratings and stuff go. It's historically the lowest point of the year. And CM Punk has gotten himself suspended or has left the business or he's been hurt multiple times during the lowest part of the wrestling business. So I have to give Phil Brooks a little bit of credit. His carny ass figured out how to beat the system.
Yeah, pretty much.
I just think it's funny that you guys are in Chicago for your second biggest show, because All In basically beat that already with those numbers. Your probably second biggest show, historically speaking, would have been their biggest. Like their Double or Nothing and All Out are very much like neck and neck with before All In. You're having it in Chicago, like Jack said, and you fire CM Punk,
the hometown boy.
Yep.
I will say I do give TK credit for one thing, and that's going out at the beginning of Collision and taking the majority of the booze from the talent. I will give him credit for that. Because don't let the talent who are busting their ass on this show and for your company deal with the ramifications, big word for Elmo, the ramifications of your actions and everything that's happening backstage.
A big word for Elmo.
That's a big word for Elmo.
That's a big word for Elmo. I want
Very
my
well
shit
said,
together, guys.
Katie.
I mean, maybe it's all work.
God,
If it's a fucking work, then I'm literally done with wrestling in general.
If Punk comes out tonight and it turns out to all be a work, I will flip my shit. I'll shave my beard next week.
No, you fucking won't.
Deal! Someone fucking clip it.
Triple dog dare you.
Ooh, she jumped straight to triple dog there.
I watch Christmas Story every year on Christmas.
Now you got to. Thank you for 24 hours straight.
Every fucking year.
Thank you. See, Katie knows what's up.
We just had this conversation, Katie. You missed that. We literally just talked about it. He does it every Christmas.
I also do it every Christmas. Every morning I wake up, go downstairs. It's always the same part. Just somehow. I wake up at different times too. It's just always the same part.
All right, guys. That's it. We did all the damage we can do. Katie, tell everybody where to find you.
You can follow me on Twitter at KatieRasson13. The link tree in my bio to get all things ShElite Showcase, twitch.tv/ShElite Showcase, and youtube.com/ShElite Showcase. Typically Thursday, 6 p.m. Eastern, live. You can watch the mods and everything else that we do on the channel on YouTube. Anchor, Spotify, Google Podcasts, Apple Podcasts if you want to listen. We do have a Patreon now. Look at us go. So proud. It's going to be exclusive non-wrestling podcasts every single month. September's is going to be filmed next week. It's going to be a Law and Order SVU podcast.
I love SVU.
So if you want to watch and listen to the podcast about Law and Order SVU, you can pay $3 a month, and you will get that and then a new podcast every single month. I may or may not be putting Inside the Mind of exclusively on Patreon. That's still iffy for me. I'm not sure. But there's going to be a lot of good stuff coming your way.
Oh, yeah.
My friend Shields and I used to play this game that we like to call SVU Roulette, where we would put on a random episode to see if we had seen it.
I love that game.
Because, there's so many. I have slacked off the last couple of seasons and haven't really been into it as much, but it was, you can tell within the first 30 seconds whether
you can tell by the first scene. Yo.
Yeah. God, I love
time.
that show.
Absolutely.
Me too. Yes.
Scouts, tell everybody where to find you.
The fuck?
You're doing that shit to me. It's not ready.
What's up,
I'll
Scouts?
put you back, Bubba. I was just messing with you. Sorry.
Fucker.
I'm so confused.
Yeah.
You're actually gonna put him back?
Yeah. Jax.
Yes, that's me.
I saw him pop in. I had to do it to him.
I'm going to make this easier. For any updates and where to find me on shows and stuff, go to my Twitter at JaxBo2020 and follow me.
Love it.
Make
Al,
it quick and simple.
tell everybody where to find you.
You can find me on the Instagram and Twitters. Oh, sorry.
The Tiki Talkies.
And the Tiki Talkies. I Dressed a Girl 918. I am currently booking guests for my birthday extravaganza of Botched Trivia on the 14th. So for those of you who would like to participate in the birthday extravaganza of Botched Trivia, please slide into either mine or Will's DMs. Katie, you're going to be on it. You
I'm
don't
already
have
there.
a choice.
I know.
I
Me and Matt have no choice.
I'm going to be making some tweaks to the heel support group as my two main characters are no longer heels.
Max and Colby, man. Fucking face
Seth
turns.
Rollins and MJF are no longer heels, so it kind of ruins my
Wow.
fucking comic.
That's crazy.
Out of
You waited too
all,
long.
out of all, well, no, but they haven't been heels for a while. At least Seth hasn't.
Seth.
But out of all of my figures, the only heels I have left are Austin Theory and Roman. So,
You're killing the business.
Your business. You're killing the business.
Put him down.
but yeah.
Right on the cornet.
So I think it's gonna be like former heel support group. We'll see how it goes.
See, that's a good idea though. You can do a lot with that.
Yeah,
It's like they're healing.
they're healing.
That's great.
Clever.
Write it down. Write it down right now. Will, use
Right.
notebooks. Write it down.
Yeah, write that shit down. We know I don't have anything to write with.
I know Will has 14 notebooks at the ready.
All right, guys. I'll make it short and sweet. Follow the Discord if you want to talk to us outside the shows. That's the place to do it. If you like merch, check out Angry Lemonade at botchbotsandchairshots.com. If you've got that Jeff Bezos money, you've got that Amazon Prime subscription, give it to us, give it to Creation World, give it to Off the Top, give it to the Wrestle Talk, Wolfpack, ShElite Showcase, anybody as long as Amazon doesn't get it. The Patreon is the lifeblood for Rivet City Radio. You can check that out for less than the price of a cup of coffee every month. You can get all the cool exclusives there. We've got all kinds of stuff. We've got shows tonight. The table spot will be coming on towards the end of All Out, so make sure to check that out. Mondays is Paying Dues. Tuesday is Nerdy News and NXT on tap. You get double jacks that day. Wednesday, we've got the Boom with Cam G. And sorry for the interruption, the new food show replacing Dirty Belly is rolling 2 weeks from now on Wednesdays. Tons of good content coming out. But that's it, guys. Y'all got anything else to say?
Why do you keep bringing everybody in? Why are you like this?
Because they're all there.
Because we don't know if they have anything to say.
They all were just minding their own business. In the
I
back.
just want to say, Katie, you look fabulous as always.
Gracias.
But I
Anybody
still
else got
need to
anything to
come
say?
Now, Katie, now what do you got to say, Katie? Why are you bringing all these people?
There's a lot of people on screen.
Oozes, 90% chance Cam's about to show up too. Watch this. Anything left for the class before I talk real fast?
Fucking Christ.
This show's
No?
gone off the rails.
Nope.
Yeah.
Now, as we close another episode of Botched and Share Shots, take a minute. Thank you for listening. Remind you to go wherever you do anything on the internet. Like, follow, subscribe, unsubscribe, then subscribe again. Leave a comment telling me how great I am or how beautiful Jax's beard is. Either way, it helps the algorithm. It helps find new listeners. If you're feeling really generous to be one of the VIP people, head over to patreon.com and donate to the Rivet City Radio Podcast Network. You get some fantastic guests. We get some fantastic swag. I reversed that. Either way, it's a win-win for my boy Jamie, for Cam, for Mike, for Alpha Wolf, for Shadow, for Scowls, and my two co-hosts, the Boss Bitch and Jax, and the ever lovely Katie Kinsey, baby. I am the Will Gray. Thanks for stopping by and listening, my people.